Hey, badass business owners. My name is Tammy, and if you own a small business serving your local community, you've come to the right place. Today, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to freestyle this one 100%. I know in the beginning, I used to script them, and then I kind of went through this phase of where I just jot down notes. But today, I'm just going to spitball it, and here's why. You probably noticed the title of this episode is Sometimes You Just Need a Vacation. Well, here's the thing. I actually took, I would say 75% of this past week off because I needed a vacation. Matter of fact, I knew I had been working a long time since I had any time off because I've been working 6-7 days a week and I barely get a day off. But I realized when I went to put my autoresponder on my Gmail that the last time I had turned it on was exactly 2 years ago. So I know I haven't taken any significant amount of time off since then, because the only time I ever use that is if I'm going to be gone longer than 3 days. And I want people to know, hey, I'm not going to jump on. Now, why did I not take a vacation? Was it because of the pandemic? Well, no, not really. I am a workaholic. I always have been a workaholic. And some of you, if not most of you, are probably also workaholics. So the problem is sometimes it's hard to turn it off because we just love what it is that we do. And in my particular field, it's easier to take time off if I was 100% just from a coaching standpoint. But the reality is I do have a very successful real estate business at the same time. And you've probably have heard of this crazy thing going on right now where you cannot buy a house. So if you've got listings, they're going crazy. If you're buying a house, it's crazy. Just the whole market is absolutely crazy. And so I have been like running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And when I'm not doing real estate, I'm working on coaching stuff and, videos for you guys, as well as talking to people and all these different things. So anyways, it's been a long couple of years. And what happens to me is I get mental burnout. So while I'm physically going through the motions and I'm still getting things done because I still have boxes to check and things to make happen, it doesn't look like I'm missing a beat, but deep inside, I know that I need that time off. Otherwise, I risk mental burnout, and I knew I was getting close. Now, why do I tell this to you? Why am I sharing this? And the reason that I'm doing that is because I know a lot of you guys have been working your butt off. You work, even when you're not working, you're working. Your brain is just going and going and going, and you never get the time to kind of decompress and not think about the business and what it is you need to do. Then you throw on COVID where you couldn't go anywhere even if you wanted to. Like sometimes I would try to escape for the weekend, go to Laughlin or go do something fun, but I haven't even had the ability to do that. I couldn't, why take a couple of days off if I couldn't go anywhere? I couldn't do anything. I would just be stuck at home with my family going crazy, right? And so we just continue working. I know that resonates with some of you guys, but at the end of the day, I knew that I was suffering burnout. And here's what happens when we have burnout. And this is why it's really important that maybe you're not the traditional take a vacation every single year kind of person. And maybe it is every couple of years and you're still good. Maybe it's just taking a day off or 2 days off. We need to have that downtime for our brain. As much as we love what it is that we do, sometimes our brain just says, look, I am at capacity and I need a rest. You may not need a rest. You may not need a good night's sleep, which I did not get at all this week, by the way. It was like a conspiracy for me to sleep. That's one thing I'm not coming back from this vacation with is sleep, because that did not happen. Your brain needs that downtime. And I knew my brain needed it because here's why. I am a podcast-holic. I always have something playing in the background. I always have a podcast in my ear. I'm listening to it, or I've got the TV on or music or something's always happening in the background for my brain to process. And part of that's because of the whole ADHD type of thought process where you got to have something in the background to kind of calm your brain down so that you can work on what it is that you're going to work on. And by the way, if you have ADHD and you've never discovered that trick, trust me, put something on in the background. It helps control your brain going squirrel all the time and you can focus a lot better. But what I found was interesting this week is I was craving the quiet. And I didn't even realize it until just a few days ago. I would turn stuff on and then I would turn it off and I would go hours before I realized, oh my God, I didn't have anything else on. So I'd be working on stuff still because I still had some clients and some things I needed to take care of because I had some business and prior commitments that I had to keep doing. But what I found is I just wanted the quiet. I put a pool in this past year and I've rarely got to use it because by the time I got home at night, it was cold. And, but this week I've been trying to go in the pool. And even then I want the quiet. I don't want sounds on. I just, and there's usually someone in there who's talking at the same time. And I'm like, shh, I just want the quiet. And I realized I was craving the quiet. I even went and played at the casino, and I rarely ever play slots, but I was playing slots and I just wanted the quiet. So yeah, you get the noise from the casino and the slots, but I didn't even put my earbuds in so I could listen to stuff like I normally do when I do anything. I just wanted the quiet. And I came to realize that it was my body's way, my brain's way of saying, Tammy, you need to just rest. Just rest your thought process. Normally I come back from a vacation or any kind of downtime with tons of notes, tons of things I want to do. It really allows me to have clarity so that I can jot down what it is that I want to do when I get back. And I've done that my whole career. Whenever I've taken a vacation, I come back with ready to attack things and say, hey, I've thought through all these different things that I need to not only to work on, but projects I have, clarity to the vision, the mission, all these different things. From my Home Depot days all the way through, I've always done this. But this is the first time I'm getting to the last day and there's nothing. It's crickets. My brain didn't want to think about anything. It forced me not to think of anything, which I know will turn around and stress me out tomorrow morning when I go back to work and I'm like, oh my God, I was supposed to come back with all these thought processes and I'm going to have to jump right back into all the stuff that I've put off for this past week. But you know what? I'm going to feel good. I'm going to feel, even though I didn't get the rest, the sleep that I wanted, my brain got the rest that it needed. And it feels good. Now, the reason I tell you all this, and like I kind of said earlier, is a lot of you are in the same boat. You've been working and working and working and working. You've been in a crazy season of your business and you have just been processing and making things happen and working and everything else. And you've got to take a time. You've got to figure out how to do it. And I know it sounds easier. Every time someone tries to give me advice, Tammy, you really should get an assistant. Tammy, you really should take some time off. Tammy, you really should. Tammy, you really... It drives me nuts. It actually ends up ticking me off because I thank you. I got it. I know, but they mean well. And I understand that, I always say Tammy's going to do Tammy. You're going to do you. All I can do is give you my thought process. And my thought process is, listen, if you are working constantly and you don't see any end in sight in the fact that you can't take a week off, then see if you can take 24 hours, 36 hours in the quiet and just let your brain decompress as much as possible. And I know that's hard for some of you guys because you are in a crazy season and there's nobody to help you out. But here's the thing. If you don't take that time off and you don't step back, you're not going to make the changes you need to make in your business in order for you to maintain that craziness, because you need to put processes in place. You need to maybe even add people. You need to maybe raise your prices so you don't work as hard as often. Yeah, that sounds crazy. Okay. But if you don't have any intention whatsoever of bringing anybody on and you're working 7 days a week in these long hours, then you're charging too little. Raise your prices. Who cares that less people use you? You've raised your prices. So now you're making the same amount of money, but you're not having to take care of as many people. So let's just say that you're knocking out 200 people a week because you're running and gunning every single day. Well, guess what? If you raise your prices and you only help 180, and you take the time that you would have had those 20 people, and this can be your decompress time, well, guess what? If you're charging more, you're going to make the same amount of money. Sometimes when we're working so hard, something's got to give. So either you need to put better processes in place or you need to hire somebody. And if you don't want to hire anybody, then sometimes you just got to raise your prices to have less customers. So this way you make the same amount of money without having to work as many hours. Hopefully that makes sense. But here's why the vacation ties into that. Because a lot of times when we're in the middle of the forest fire, we don't see the exit of how to get out. We don't see the total picture because all we're doing is dealing with the fire that's in front of us. And what a vacation or a couple days off can do for you is give you that clarity to say, wow, this is what needs to happen in my business in order for me to make those changes. And that's really why I feel that you need to find a way to take some time off when you are going absolutely crazy and getting nowhere. Or it's rinse and repeat every single day. And part of the challenge with doing that is we don't actually get to grow. Yeah, you're thinking about your business, you got a lot of great ideas, but how often do you actually get to implement those ideas? You don't, because you're so busy working doing yesterday's business that you never get to implement the ideas for tomorrow's business. And what a vacation does, it adds a little bit of that clarity to say, okay, my brain needs to calm down for a minute so that I can look at this logically and I can say, hey, I got to step out of the fire in order to be able to see. So I want to challenge you to do something very similar. For example, one of the things that I became very clear about this past week is how much I really want to be full-time doing the coaching side of the business and developing those videos and developing those tools and resources. But here's the thing. It's not that I hate real estate. I don't. But I'm also addicted to real estate because I make great money doing it. So it's very difficult to just walk away from that, right? And to chase the passion. But one of the biggest motivators that I have when it comes to real estate is I have to change something in the business, not because I need to have an assistant or I need to change some processes or I need this. The thing is, real estate is a 24/7 type of business. People need you at all hours of the night, every 7 days a week. And in order to service them, they can't just turn it off. For example, people knew I was on vacation, but yet I've got hey, I know you're on vacation, but we all get that, right? I know it's Sunday and you're off, but all of those different things. Because here's the thing. Their needs don't change. They still have to have an issue with a lender, or they still need help with a title company, or they found this house that they really need to see and they need to have somebody that can help show it to them. Whatever the case may be, there's always a reason why people need you 24/7. And I've come to realize that I've done that my whole life. Ever since I started working, I have been 7 days a week, 6-7 days a week. I just have. And I'm okay with that because that's just kind of how I trained myself. And I realized this past week, I don't want that anymore. After 35 years of being there every single day, every minute of the day, to answer questions and to do what people, to respond to people, I realized that I need my quiet time. If I'm going to, why work so hard for all of these years only to keep doing the same thing? And I don't want to wake up 10 years from now and realizing that I didn't spend the next 10 years, I guess it would be, not having some of that quiet time to just get, just to get in the pool and not have the phone ring. Every single time I was in the pool, my phone was going crazy. It was people texting me, people calling me, people asking me questions. And I'm laughing because, like I said, they knew most of them, not all of them. People knew I was on vacation, but new clients, new customers, they don't know you're on vacation, And if they're new and they're just giving you a call to reach out to you, here's the thing. You got to be willing to let it go. Because if you don't answer or you don't respond, then they just move down the line to the next person. And that's money that you're literally letting go because you're doing it that way. And I realized I don't want to spend the next 10 years having to chase every single thing that comes my way. Now, with that said, does that mean I don't want to be in real estate at all? No, that's not it. I think there's some things, some processes, and some way I can build the business that does not make me 24/7, but there is a risk that, I'm still going to be technically on call, if you will, because of how it would be set up, because if I have people that go off and do that stuff, then they're going to need to have access to me. So it doesn't quite take away the 24/7, but it would reduce it. Then I have to ask myself, is that really what I want to do? Or do I want to go ahead and just let it go altogether and just create this amazing business from the coaching side that I know that I can? That's probably more of what if I was honest with myself and I could start from scratch, then that's what I would do. I would go after business B and build it up to create this amazing income that I have. But right now I'm in that tweenerville. So I need to figure that out. Those were some of the things I wanted to come back from vacation with better clarity to, that I'm not. And that's okay, because it's, your vacation isn't going to solve all of the problems and all of the concerns and all the questions that you have. What it's going to do is it's going to slow you down enough to where you can look at it from a different angle and to look at it more, in the moment, or not even in the moment, because you're looking at it every day in the moment, but look at it from that 30,000 foot level and to see kind of what's going on and go, oh, I see what's happening. When you slow down, you're able to do that. You're able to pull yourself above the situation and you're able to look at it a little differently. Listen, I know I'm rattling and I don't want to do that. my main point of why I wanted to get on here today to share this with you is because I know so many of you are working crazy hours and you're working long hours and you're working 7 days a week and you've had the busiest time that you've ever had. Take some time for you, even if it's one day, okay? Take one day and maybe 2, 5, whatever you can squeeze out, and don't think about anything. Don't have anything playing in your ear. Just let your brain talk, let your brain decompress. If your brain doesn't say anything to you, that's okay, because that's what your brain needs to do. It needs the quiet. So often we want to have those aha moments and, like these bells going off and this like, oh my God. And then I had that moment where I just have clarity. No, sometimes you're just going to have nothing. You're going to hear crickets because that's what your brain needs. It needs the quiet. And we all need to do that. All right. So yes, your body needs some sleep. Your body needs some rest. Your family needs to spend time with you. There's so many different things that I could check off as to what days off or vacation time will do for you. But today, my biggest thing was just to share, sometimes your brain just needs to shut off and it needs to not think about anything in order for you to have the clarity you need to be able to take the next step in your business, to take those, to know where it is that you want to go. And sometimes it just needs to stop. The world needs to stop temporarily. And even if your people aren't going to let you do that and have it completely, I honestly have had work to do every single day, but those 4 to 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever I was able to squeeze out for just me and quiet time, oh my gosh, they were so needed. And I know that I'm going to be better when I go back to work tomorrow, which will be today when you guys are listening to this, and I hit the ground running. And I know a couple of you guys are out there, listen, I owe you some answers. This is why I haven't been as responsive, because I've been taking this time. But anyways, I'm going to stop rattling because I'm just rattling. And if you've made it this far, then you are crazier than I thought, because you need some time off too, because I know I'm just filling your ears while you work. All right, I'm getting out of here. I will talk to you guys next week. And I promise we're going to get back to how we can put more money in your pockets, because ultimately that is our mission, is to put more money in your pocket. All right, I'll talk to you later. See ya on the next episode. Bye for now. Hey, badass business owner, before you go, as you know, I'm a huge believer in you knowing your business numbers. After all, it isn't about how much you sell, it's about what you keep. And the best way to grow your profits is to start diving in and understanding those business numbers. To help you on this journey, I have created the Know Your Business Numbers course. We will walk through how to read your profit and loss statement. You'll learn the key calculations that'll help ensure that you're making a healthy profit on all of your products or services, plus a ton of other good stuff that'll help you learn how to use those business numbers to create even more sales and profits. Just check out the link below in the show notes or visit knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. So if you're ready to increase those profits, it's time you start diving into your business numbers.